Y'all hear me?
Anda jibohas.
All right. Istungon jokayadega. Istungon jokayadega.
Mahaya,
Huh?
hateki as the Amy on jogan on hotejet inokimahi bajigan inokida jogon wakas magas.
Oh no, manaktas. Do you know? You just never know about
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
you know.
RSV most sabagidundos magas is one.
Golly, that's bad now. RSV.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh my
Hat
gosh.
Hizaga godados magidoes. Not breathing. She's having trouble breathing.
Oh, Lord. Oh God, God. Keep her in prayer, guys. Keep Amy in prayer. She has COVID and RSV. So keep her in prayer. Um, yeah, God, goodness. Manak, but I went through it all right, you know, and that was a blessing. I went through it okay. Istungo and Jokayadega for one person. Istungo and Jokayadega ga is more than one. Okay.
Mvhayv,
Uh-huh.
you need to turn your camera on.
I got recording on.
Yeah, but you have to turn your video on your computer on.
Oh, sorry. There you go. Can you see me now?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay. So guys, see the ending? Okay, guys. We're gonna go through some stuff now. Tomorrow will be our last class until we're gonna skip a week. And so I can get these things, other lessons ready. And it's gonna go in depth, but we're kind of going over things right now that I think you're gonna use for the next one, because we're going deeper and deeper for the ones that's been here. You know, so we're gonna go in. So okay. Istungon jokayade ga. Listen to that ending, ga. It means one person, talking about one person, but right here's a group. Istungon jokayade ga. Hear that tone? Now, Eric tone's got everything to do with language now. Situation, environment's got everything to do with it, okay? What I want to do, look here, sound words. Look at all these sound words. And everything that you're going to learn in the next 6 weeks, every one of these sounds are in there. I don't care what, you know, a lot of people says, well, sounds aren't important. Yes, they are, because our language is sounds. And you know, you got to look at all these words. This is just a few, but if you go into speaking, every word in there can be broke down into sounds. Okay, every word. So guys, let's for the next class, let's look over our sounds. Let's break up. If you got in any of these papers that's not been broke down, break them up. See these sounds. Look at these sounds and you'll be able to pronounce them. So in this next class, I'm going to go into the Bible because they got like 17, 18 letter words. I'm going to give that maybe once every week. Look for a word once every week, and I want y'all to break it up. Break it up and see where these sounds come from, okay? And you'll be able to say that word. Just breaking it up into sounds. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm working on them now. I've been downloading some on a flash drive so that we can get into these things. And you know, those Halloween words, they're not in a dictionary, some of them. Those are my words that I made up to, and they're descriptive. A lot of them are descriptive, but some of those aren't in a dictionary, like casket is and stuff. But some of these words that was taught to you is not in a dictionary. And So they're descriptive words. So remember that some of these, and I know some says, well, I don't see it in a dictionary. Some of those you're not going to see in a dictionary. So, you know, if there's a controversy on that, saying, well, that's not that, they're descriptive. Some of them are descriptive. And like I said, they're not in a dictionary. They are my translations. Okay, they're my translations. But look at all these words. Look here. This is just it right here. Okay, look here. Right here, this is where you're going to tell the difference. Like the bread is moldy, but in our ways, we call it sour bread. So I say kamoksi for doxi, dale kamoksi. I use this, it is sour bread. But I don't never hardly use this. I don't know why. I don't hardly use doxi. I've been, you know, and like I said, it's area, dialect, different people's been taught different ways. So I've been taught by my family, dale kamoksi, sour bread for sour cornbread. Here, some people's been called, they call it doxi, like moldy bread. And it both ways is good because it is sour and it is moldy. Okay. So either way, you can use this. You can use this either way. Okay. So remember that, all right? Because in this next one, it's going to be different ways, and I'm going to explain more to it. Okay.
Mvhayv, the dictionary says if it's not milk, it's gamoksi. If it is milk, it's toksi.
Yeah. So I don't put milk in mine. I don't put milk when I make my sour bread. I use just cornmeal water, and sometimes I put rice in it, you know, for it. I don't put milk in it. Maybe that's why, guys, that my family didn't use milk in it. They just used the water and mixed it and put it in that ceramic thing, you know. So we called it dale kamoksi. So that was a tip right there, you know. So, okay, but dalegi is bread, doxi means mold, okay, okay, if you're going to say sour bread, you would say dale gamoksi, sour is gamoksi and bread is dalegi. You know, either way you can use it and it's understood what you're talking about. I don't care if you've been taught with like sour bread, I don't care if you've been taught, you know, doxi, either way, it's understood. Isti jepko mahi duis. Jepko means long, okay? Jepki is long, but jepko is like, it's tall, okay? Isti jepko mahi duis. But look here, mahi is tall, this is long. This is where y'all gonna find out how things are used, okay? It says isti jepko mahi duis. Well, jepko is a name of this person. It's the name, long man. The long man was tall. And you know, this is istijabko. I ain't never heard it being translated into English, but we had to in order to for learners to know that this means long man, you know, and mahi is tall. Isti adilogat athida jayajidos. It says I like being around where people gather. Isti is people, adilogat, where they gather. Athida is to like go around them. Remember? Athida is an infinitive verb because it's got the etf. Jayajidos. This says I like. You can't transfer. This is personal pronoun, and we went through those. Ja is first person, like right now, present. I like going around people. Jayaji, I can't say for my like or my favorite to anything. So it's Jayaji. That cha makes it that.
Mvhayv,
Uh-huh.
back to that one where you're saying, you know, stijapko. I think when they used to tell us those words, I think you're giving it a little different sound, and but Stijapko, is the way they used to say it, with that sound being just a little bit different, And like you said, sound is important because of how you're trying to say. Stijapko, Japko. So it's instead of saying Stijapko, Japko. Do you hear this difference in sound?
She said Steve. We remember I said you leave out the beginning sometimes and you leave out the ending. She said Steve. She didn't say Isti. She said Steve. Steve Jopko. Steve Jopko. Mahiduis. Dues. So this person saw it, didn't it? Because it says she saw it. Somebody saw it in order for it to say Dues. Dues means it was. So somebody actually saw this thing. Okay. Coffee, it says the coffee maker is, but this don't say coffee maker. This says coffee boiler. Okay. This says coffee boiler. Somebody's got their hand raised and my hand is gone here. Here it is. Let me see. What do you need, Thor? I can't get to this. What did you need?
Okay, with Istichapko Mahdois. Did you say that Istichapko Mahdois?
Does.
That's
I
not,
could say Dues, but if I say Istijapko, Mahi Dues, I'm saying the tall man, the long man is tall. But if I say Dues, remember when we went to those lessons where you changed the Dues, the IS? You
saying
saw, somebody saw it. Yeah,
long, tall man.
Tall man is,
But-
Go ahead.
Well, there it's written. I'll just say how I thought you said it. Istichapko Mahdois.
It is long. The long man is tall. It's just describing it. It's usually tall. But here, Does means somebody actually saw it.
You said Dues
This says Does.
or Dois?
This says Istijapko, Mahi Does. Saying it was tall. The tall man was tall.
If somebody did say Istichapko Mahdois,
Does?
people pronounce it that way.
Yeah, they do. They can say
That's what
like
I
that.
think. Sometimes I think.
Yeah. They know what it is. Some says Istijapko. Because the Steve, I remember I said we dropped the beginning. This is formal now. This is formal. But in speaking, we say Stijapko instead of saying
Mahaya. Okay, back to what you're saying. I think that ending sound is different because, like you said, it's if that person saw the tall man, Does, when you say Does, the tall man was tall, so it's meaning that guy saw it, and that's what he's telling you about. Istijapko Mahi Does.
he's telling somebody that it was tall. But now, if
But like me, I've never seen one. So I would say Istijapko Mahi Dois.
So
Right?
saying it is, you never saw it.
Mhm.
Yeah, it is tall. or, it is tall, but somebody saw it here because they said, Istijako, Mahi Does. They're saying, I saw it. Somebody saw it. And saying that. You see, does that make sense, Thor?
So what Ella says is if you said Istichapko Mahi Duis, it's like you're saying maybe
Dois is.
you're saying maybe or something,
Was.
right, Ella?
Uh-huh. Was. Okay.
You're
Does that
saying
make,
I'm not. You're saying I think that's true, but I'm not absolutely sure or something.
yeah, uh-huh. Yeah.
But you know what? No.
Uh-huh. Isti adiloga asida jayajidos. Ja, remember? You can't transfer feelings or family members or body parts. So my jayaji is a family. Is feelings, I mean. So I can't transfer that. So I have to use that pronoun beginning, ja. Because this is yaji means want or like. Want actually, but jayaji dos. This is saying that it's yours, it's possessive, okay? Right here, a fence, well, I'm gonna go to this other one here in a little bit. A fence goes around the house. That don't make sense when if you say English, fence goes around the house. It don't really say anything, but if you say Jugo duhupki afolutki duis. That means that's telling somebody something. Duis, here we go with that Duis, Thor. House fence goes around. Duis, it does go around it. Duis. See, this is where speaking, remember I said we speak different from what we teach. Okay? This is how we would say it. That's where I want y'all to learn how we speak. We drop the endings, we drop the beginnings. We don't even speak the way we teach. I said, Jugo, Ella, Jugo Duhopki, Afolutki Duis. See? She says, oh, Moyi, we might have been talking about something else. We might have been talking about a house, or she might have asked me, where is it? And I would tell her, Jugo Duhopki, Afolutki Duis. I'm saying the fence goes around the house, but here it's house fence goes around. Any questions on this? This is something that is, we don't speak formal. Is that true, Ella? We don't speak formal, do we? We don't speak actually how we teach. Right here, Owala, Sakubandida Hithiko Duis. It's not good to play with the click button. See, Owala can be anything. This is sort of situation and environment comes in. Owala is like a future or a gifted person with 6 sense. A person with 6 sense. But if you say Owala Sakubanida, they're talking about click bug because Sakubanida means don't play with it. Or it's no good to play with it. You know they're talking about a click bug. This is where when I say speaking and teaching is 2 different things. If we say Owala Sakubanida Hisiko Duis, Magenoa, Ella knows that if she knows the ways that a click bug, she would know what I'm saying. She would understand. Okay, here, right here, coffee is moska hobangidos. The coffee maker is broke. We don't have these old time coffee things anymore. I guess if you can find them, I don't know. I never looked for it. I got a coffee maker. But this says ismoska. Ismoska means to boil. Coffee to boil broke is. You can say coffee is hayida. Is hayida is to make with. The coffee maker, I can say that, but I said coffee to boil broke is because this is different. See how many ways I can say that? Ismoska. Or I can say ismosejida. Look how many ways I can say that. The coffee maker is broke. Coffee is more fejida hobangidos. Coffee is mosca hobangidos. Coffee is hayida hobangidos. The first one I said, coffee is hayida. To make coffee with is broke. Or I can say coffee is mosca hobangidos. The coffee boiler is broke. Or I can say coffee is hayida. To make coffee with is broke. And either way, every one of these that I just said is different, but it's understood. It ain't just this that you can say. Remember, I said there's 10 different ways, maybe 5, 6 different ways to say this. And that's what we don't teach. We teach one way, but we don't speak that way. Sakchoga man adafkidos. Man is there. Sakchoga is dipper. Man adafkidos, that's where it's hanging. There hanging it is. The dipper is hanging there. But I can also say Sakchunga adafkidos. Or Sakchunga ashen adafkidos. Sakchoga adafkiduis. Either way, this is saying one thing. The dipper is hanging there. Look how many ways I said it. But we're not, and that's what I'm gonna start teaching y'all guys, is how different ways, how this one thing can be said 5, 4 different ways, but it's understood what it means. This is where we speak different. But it's understood among speakers. We can say it so many different ways.
Mvhayv, this last sentence reminds me, Hanyawat, Moin, I get that's a go nunga. Moes Bondat. Remember long time ago, me goes up Kazogun through the Jayan. Owen Zayats Gazan Horn. Moan, a hoagie dimbin, suklegish margin. And I asked for a cup, to drink with. And they said, no, man, they told me the dipper is hanging there. So I remember that when I was about 12 years old, I think. And I had, at that time, I had not been to a Creek church because we lived, here in Arizona. But that was an eye opener because we didn't, we got to the point where we didn't share cups, with when we would drink. And so for a long time, we always had a cup that was sitting by the faucet wherever we got our water. There would be a cup sitting there. But when we were out, in the public, we didn't, share cups then because we had been taught in school not to, and so, but it was an eye opener that they do that at church. They had that big old water jug and the dipper was hanging right there next to it.
Well, right now, these younger people don't know what it is. And there's some people that's never seen a dipper. And we always used to dipper even, they would drink out of the same one, but now this is where there wasn't that many diseases out either. There wasn't so many, see, somebody said, when we were kids, we had nothing but a dipper to drink from until dinner time. See, she said they didn't have nothing, or he or she said they didn't have nothing to drink with but a dipper. And if you think about it, we weren't in this point like we are now. Dipper was communal. It was for everybody. And nobody had a problem drinking out of it. No one had a problem. But nowadays, see how our world has changed? Remember, I said our world was different. Our world has changed. Because look at COVID. They got all kinds of things now, the flu. Maybe they had them back then, who knows? But you know what? We weren't afraid of it. And so a dipper was one communal. It was communal, everybody drink out of it. Now, I don't even know if I would now. I don't even know if I let my grandkids, do that. But back then it was, look how our world has changed. Our world is different. Exactly. Okay, somebody just put on here. People had better immune systems and were not sick then. Exactly. Exactly. Because the Wajina world, the European world, has advanced, and so has diseases. In our world, we weren't. And maybe it was because we didn't go to town much. We didn't do all this stuff that we do now. But I have a dipper that my mom had, and I still have it. And I wash it, and hardly nobody uses it. I use it mostly like to put water in my food, but no one ever hardly drink. No, I'm gonna say no one ever drinks out of it. It's just there for me to cook with. But my grandkids knows what a dipper is. They asked me, what is that? I said, a dipper. And I told them in Crete what it was, Sakjoga. And I told them the story because, when they ask questions, this is a time, now for my grandkids, when they're inquisitive. And when they say, what is that? I tell them the story. Like my granddaughter, like I told you, was going to that honey thing battlefield today. So I have stories to tell her. And I was telling her that story, and she was just sitting there, she just listened, because there's a story to a lot of these things. And Sakjoga, I was telling her, well, my grandma used to have one. She used to have a bucket hanging on her porch with water in it, and there was a dipper in there. I don't know how many people drink out of it. And like at church, Ella, how many people drink out of that dipper? And like she said, our immune systems were strong back then. But our abuse and when I say abuse, I'm not saying like drinking and drugs. I'm saying like the foods we eat now. Our bodies are not made for European like steroids or injections that they put in foods, the preservatives. We weren't preservative people. We dried, and it didn't have anything in it. So our bodies have come to are weak now. Our immune system is weak now. And I don't remember when I was growing up, maybe they did. Maybe they didn't know what it was, but I don't remember diabetes or even cancer. When I was growing up, I didn't hear anybody. Maybe they didn't know what it was. Or maybe they didn't have the doctors to tell them what it was. I don't remember ever hearing that. But this is what, see, I can say, Sakjoga Ashen Adafkidos. I can say that dipper is hanging over there, or I can say Sakjoga Manadafkis. The dipper is there. See right here says when the government outlawed hemp, we lost the CBD source in our diets, which boosted our immune system. I believe in that, because our bodies as American Indians, as natives, our body was all natural. I don't think it was meant for this stuff. Our bodies didn't have that. And when they started introducing it, we started ingesting it, our bodies are different. I always think that. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but I just think that, Okay. But these are different ways, and I'm going to bring them. We're going to be introduced to it here soon. And then within the next, I got them on this flash drive. Okay, look here, Nithiesi. Nithiesi. Everybody says last night, but we say Nithiesi. And this is used, they'll say somebody passed away last night. They say Nithiesi Songipis. But look at Songipis. That means they got lost. We can say Ilipis, they died. Nithiesi Imidibuyabuskis, they changed over last night. That means they all passed. But look how many different ways I said it. Mesty, ajolat. The old man. I can say ajolat. I know a woman that used to ask me about Mitchell. She was an elder. She used to say, ajolat da dungun da lega. Is the old man okay? She didn't say nasty. She didn't say nasty. But this is actually just showing you, look how many words there are and how many times you can break these up. Diffney, dull knife. Everybody says dull knife, but it's diffney. Diffney. We say diffney. And that can be dull pair of scissors. Anything that can be sharpened is diffney. A hoe, an axe, anything, okay? No jayida is to yarn. To yarn. No jayida to yarn. You don't hear that anymore. You don't hear these. And this is the point of this, like what I'm saying, different words. You don't hear these anymore. And you're going to learn them though. And I hope you're going to use them so people will hear them. No jayida to yarn. Gopher. Egan sola lija. Sola lija means they put holes in the ground. A gopher. Egan is short for Egan. Egan. Okay, remember? Here we go again. We don't speak. If we say Egana, sola lija, we're saying ground, something that makes hole in the ground. But we didn't put it formally and put Egana. We put Egan. Egan, sola lija. Instead of saying Egana, sola lija. But the both ways is right. We cut off the ending. Mo, Duggle. It's supposed to be a K. I'm sorry. That's Duggle. G-O-K-O. Duggle is a mole. How many people knows what a mole is? Everybody knows what a mole is, but they don't know that it's a duggle. Suspenders. Everybody knows what suspenders are, but do they know it's sohalatka? Sohalatka. How many packs of lunch? But they say, I gotta pack my lunch, or I brought my lunch. E-halwa is lunch. E-halwa is like a packed lunch, or even you can eat it any time, but pack means e-halwa. E-halwa.
Mvhayv,
I
just to share with you, so Kalaka Magatsan. These young ones probably don't know that, but long time ago, remember when we used to have those bib overalls that we had to wear? I don't know how many of those that I wore. And remember how I always had trouble fixing my, the one that came over the shoulder and connected to my bib. So Kalaka Mahoda. I used to have trouble with that until one day, they taught me how to do that. But I just thought about that and I thought, these young people probably don't know that word. So kalatka,
A lot of people don't know what sohalatka is, and like Mo, Duggle. They didn't know. Some people don't know that there's a name for Mo, Duggle, and that's KO now. That was a typo.
Mhm.
And like pack lunch. How many people pack their lunch? Like on days like this, I have to teach. I bring my lunch sometimes, and like today I didn't, but so that I don't have to go anywhere, but just teach and then go in there and have it. But I say I brought my lunch. I never say e halwa. E halwa. And I need to. I say e halwa. I brought my lunch. Okay, sand. Here's another one. There's sand everywhere. But we say sand. We don't say ukdaha. Ukdaha. We don't say that. Ukdaha. And yesterday, We say yesterday, but we never say baksangi. Baksangi. These are words that you kind of use all the time, but it's just and unusual. Let's put it that way. Words you might use every day, and then some of these words is not used anymore. It's different. Like wrist. The reason why I did wrist was because my granddaughter kept saying, "I hurt my wrist. I hurt my wrist," and so I said, "Jingy dok dok dikiga no gets it." Remember, I said jingy. I'm talking about her wrist. I said that's personal. That's possessive pronoun. Your wrist. Did you hurt your wrist? I said jingy. Dokiga no gets it. And that's how that came in this word. That's because you know what? When I go home, this is where I get all this. I go home and one day, and see, that was like that gopher. That gopher came from my daughter was out, my granddaughter was out there, and she was looking at all these this lump that was in the ground. And she said, "Grandma, what made this?" And she was picking on it. First I told her honka, a monster. Then I said, a gopher. Well, my little grandson said, "What's a gopher?" And I said, and so that's how that came from. And see, every one of these that I'll make. Now, these are created, guys. These lessons are created by me. They don't cut, I can't go to Walmart and buy a book that has this. I can't go to the State Department and say, "You have lessons on Muskogee?" I can't do that. All these are created by me, okay? I just do things to teach y'all. Okay, baksangi, everybody says yesterday, but I say baksangi. Egg yolk, and I got this from home too. Okay, egg is jostagi, but here I got jostak inlani. I say the eggs yolk. This saying is possessive. Inlani, that's what it is. Inlani, jostak inlani. Instead of saying jostagi, I say jostak inlani. Egg yolk, and the reason why I did that. I did use this one because a lot of things revolve around my grandkids because they live with me. He said, "Grandma, can you make me some runny eggs?" I said, "Ew, you want the egg yolk runny?" Because they eat it like that. She said, "Yeah." And so I thought, this is a good one because you eat a lot of eggs. So stock in Lani, egg yolk. Right here, yonder, came from my husband. He works in Eufaula, about 17 miles from our home. And they have a lot of before, they're all gone now, but he's been there about 30 years. So he worked with different people, and they would say yonder, or Ewins, or Rick. Sometimes he'll use them just to be, and he'll say it, then look at it. Because I know, he knows I'm going to say something, or I'm going to laugh at him. He'll say, "I reckon." Or he'll say, "Ewins." And he said, "Over yonder." Yonder. But, a lot of people says that, but we say a say or a sam. A sama. A sama. Yonder. All of these that I created has something to do with something I met up with, or something that was asked of me, or something that I experienced.
Mvhayv,
Somebody needs to turn the mic off. Okay.
when you say those words that you like, the one that I like is when they say, "Is that y'all's pickup? Is that y'all's pickup?" Instead of saying, "Is this your pickup?" It's y'all's pickup. And I have to laugh every time I don't, but you know what I mean? I get tickled when I hear them say it, but the other one I was going to ask you about too, Ihol Magachazi, What is that other word that you were using for
Ihalwa,
lunch?
No, doesn't work.
like
I'm
pack
trying to
lunch.
go out. Open it. It won't. I told security they're all locked.
Okay, thank you.
Somebody's talking, need to turn off their mic. Okay, like ihalwa is packed lunch, you know? And what was that?
Uh-huh.
Uh,
The word you used,
huh?
because we always used ihalwa. Uh-huh.
Ihalwa. It can be dinner, supper. It can even be a snack. Is that what you're talking about?
No, what is that word the other word that you use for bringing your lunch?
Oh, I said ihalwa sadipes. Sadipes means I brought my lunch, you know, sadipes.
No, I thought you had another word for ihalwa.
I can see, I forget what I say, and this is what we'll have a round table in our office, and like I said, we'll say it some ways, 3 or 4 different ways, and we'll say, what did I say? We don't even know what we said, because we said it so many different ways, like I did this other one over here, remember?
Mhm.
How I made that sentence using so many, one sentence, 4 different ways, but it meant the same thing.
Mhm.
That's that. You know, that's how we speak. And right here, I think I said, coffee is mosca hobangidos. The coffee maker is broken. They call it coffee maker now. But it's mosca means coffee boil. But I can also say coffee. Coffee is hayida. Or coffee. What did I say? I had it about 4 different ways. Coffee maker is broke. I can say coffee is hayida. Coffee is mosca. I can say this in different ways, but it still means the same thing. So that might have been what I was, you know, I don't know what I said on this. Okay. Ihalwa, what did I call it? You can say hombida probably.
Was it Fudgelake Hombida?
Yeah, faccialegi hombida, that's noon lunch. Or, you know, see, that means the same thing, it's lunch though. And that's what, see, we talk different. So that's what I'm gonna try to teach y'all this coming. And that they're not in what you think, you know, they're different. I got the endings cut off, but it's explained. I got the beginnings cut off, like jostagi. Here we got egg yolk, but we say jostak. Egg is jostagi, but we didn't say that. We said jostak in Lani. This in means the egg's yolk. But actually, right here in Lani means the yellow part of it. We don't have a word for yolk. We just got the yellow part of it. And I got that from my little granddaughter. She's runny eggs. I don't like runny eggs, but that's what it is. And like getting back to that yonder, see my husband, he'll come home and he'll say, I reckon. What is reckon? I reckon. I think so. You can say comes, manos comes. See, I reckon. He brings these homes and ewins and reckons and yonder. He's got more words that I've heard, but you know, he'll say them and then he'll look at me like, because he knows I'm gonna laugh at him, you know. He knows I'm gonna laugh at him. But and I'll say, quit talking that way, you know, and he'll just, you know, because he worked with these people, they're gone, but that's how they spoke all the time. Understood them now.
I like talking to your husband.
Uh,
I like talking to your husband.
Feel, you know, he's easygoing, he's real soft-spoken. He's
Uh-huh.
soft-spoken,
Uh-huh.
you know, and you know, he doesn't, you know, he doesn't cuss, he doesn't do easy things. He's just real easygoing, laid-back guy. I'm the loud one. I'm the loud one. We have different personalities. I tell you, we got different personalities, you know. But we've been, like I said, we've been together about 35 years, I guess. Okay.
Mahaya.
Huh?
Uh-huh. Yeah, That's how I would say it.
Yeah, yeah, he is. He don't have a bad thing to say about, and you know, he can turn a situation. Like I can be, you know, I'm the person that I'm doing most of the hollering. And he'll say something to make me laugh, that's it. It's over. You know, he's really heartfelt and he talks to our kids that way too. He doesn't, you know, I'll go in there and I say, y'all better pick up this house or major pain's coming out. That's what I tell him. But he'll come in and he says, pick up, y'all guys. Pick up. Just an even voice. You know, he'll just, that's the way he is. My husband is, I'm married to a good man. I'm married to a good man. Okay, look here, the sun is really bright, correct English. Hasi dos utin hayayigin, incorrect Muskogee. Hasi dos, because this is actually, we roll up this. Utin hayayigin. This is what it's saying in English in Muskogee, but this is how we say it in Muskogee. Hasi hayayago dos. That's how we would say it. Can y'all get this right here? See, the sun is really bright. That's how we say. Because you know, the other day in Head Start, I said, oh, the sun is bright. Sun is really bright. But in Muskogee, if we literally translated this, what it's saying in English, we would say, Hasi dos uthin hayayagi. Incorrect Muskogee. Here we would say, Hasi hayayago dos. That's right. Okay. The moon is full, or it is full moon. Correct English. Hatisi dos fachki. This is literally, this Muskogee is literally translating the way the English is written. But we don't say that. In Muskogee, we say, Hatisi is fachki dos. Isfachki means it's full. It don't mean, you know, like full, it means like full moon. So see, this is how we speak. And that's why I'm going to the other method. You know, going to that other method, because that's how I would talk. Hatisi isfachki dos. That's how I would talk. And not say, okay, you're saying the sun is really, look at really. Really is putting the emphasis, it's really bright. So right here, you would put a tone in it and say, Hasi hayayago dos. That means really bright. See how tone did that? See how tone did that? Any questions on this, guys? I know this is a little bit, you know, but we've been in here long enough. We need to start getting this stuff now and getting where we did the formal. Now we're going to do the way we really speak. See? I think it's a statement. It's a statement. There are a lot of stars. Okay. If we literally spoke in Muskogee like the English is done, dos solgi golas was solgi. Makes sense, but if we say golas was solgi dos. Or we can say there's a lot of stars in statement, but if we just want to emphasize it, we can say golas was solgi dos. There's a lot of stars. Okay, I want some feedback now. I want some, what do y'all think, guys? Okay, the tree is dead or withered. I'd like to have some feedback on this. And that's correct. The tree is dead, withered, but incorrect. The way this is written, if we did it exactly the way it is, we would say ido dos dali. Tree is dead or withered. That's what it's saying in Muskogee, but we have to say ido dali dos. Correct Muskogee. Okay, the grass is brown. But he does uglani. It's saying grass is brown. This is actually translating the way it is in English. But here we have to say, Bahi uglani dos. That's the correct Muscovy. I'm hoping out of this, y'all can see how word content comes in, okay? How word content comes in. How you would speak. This is how you would speak. Any questions? Okay, the flower is pretty. That's incorrect, but it's saying exactly what it is in English. But we say but we can make that just beautiful instead of pretty. Tone. See how tone does this, guys? Remember, we've studied tone. Oh, that flower is just beautiful. We can make it gorgeous, beautiful, and really, really, really just out of this world pretty. Tones, guys, tones. That's how I would speak. If I saw, I had a rose bush one time and it died, and that was, I can't find no more. It was called Arizona Sunset. And there were big roses, and my husband got that and he planted it for me. It was like bright red, and then it just had different colors. It was so pretty. And somebody showed up at my house. She said, they asked me where I got it. I said, my husband got it. And I went looking for it because I thought, if I find it, I'm gonna buy it for that person. I never can, and still to this day, I haven't found it. It was called Arizona Sunset, and I still haven't found it. Okay, here, okay. Look here. The hill has a lot of trees. And in our area, there's hills that's got a lot of trees and some don't, but right here, and a person said, that hill with a lot of trees, she said. So I said this. It ain't right. But if I say that's correct. Okay. The mountain has a lot of rocks. Gunhalwi is mountain. Thako, we have to say Gunhalwi Thako means big mountain. Oji Solgi Jalo. That don't make sense in Muscogee. But if we say Gunhalwi Thako Jalo Solgi Ojidos. See how this is written. This is word content, guys. Word putting it in the way you need to speak. Okay. Gunhalwi is mountain, but Thako, this is literal translation for this. This is it. Okay, I got a feedback. Oh, okay. All right. Let me write that down real quick before. Sorry, guys, I want to write this down because I have never found it again. Okay. Thank you.
Oh,
I know. And it was and I kind of, y'all remember me telling y'all I kind of got sick real bad there for a while, Well, he would set me outside sometimes because the doctor had told me, she needs probably about 10-15 minutes of sun because it was a natural healing process and sleeping. So he planted that rose for me. And when I first saw it, I thought that was the most beautiful thing I ever seen, And I would sit there and just look at it, and somehow an animal got on it and killed it. I don't know what it did, but it killed it. So right here, the mountain has a lot of rocks. See, if I literally translated this to this, it would not make sense. But if I said it this way, it would. That's right. That's the right way. The forest of woods has wild animals. Ido antawa oji ponata. Wrong way. But if we say Ido antawa Ansawa, bonata onjidos. That's correct. That's exactly saying what this is saying, okay? Don't get confused now. During this break after tomorrow, I would go back over these and get that word the way it's said, okay? The way it's supposed to be said. That's how we speak, okay? Okay. I hope this is going to help you.
Mahaya, I've been seeing some places where some of our cousins are learning to try to speak Muskogee using the sentence that is written in English. And instead of trying to say it the Muskogee way, they're using that incorrect Muskogee style.
Yeah.
Because they're translating it word for word the way it's written. I've seen a couple of them doing that, and then I said, I hate to tell y'all, I said, but that's not the way Muskogee speak, but that's how some of them are learning it like that. And so sometimes when I have to do a speech in Muskogee, I would ask my uncles to help me with it to make it sound Muskogee politically correct.
So see, this is where this is leading. Right here. This is where, this is where this is going. This is how this. Yeah, I mean, this is how we. But if we literally, like what I'm saying is like this English, there's a lot of stars. If we said it exactly the way this is said in English in Muskogee, it'd be wrong. But we say it a different way. That's what I'm trying to get across. There's that word, the way we speak, I would say golazos solgidos. That's it. Here, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 letters in English that says there's a lot of stars. Okay, right here, if we went literally, it's just 2, 4, but right here, look here, 3 words. That tells it all. That tells it all. Any questions so far? We just got 3 minutes now. We'll do this again tomorrow. I got some more coming. I'm gonna put a lot on there. Tomorrow, we're gonna go back over past. This was past class. And so we're gonna go jump, next week after next, we're gonna jump into some more things, and that's gonna be a little more in depth. But it's explained. It's explained. I'm gonna explain it if I can. It's kind of, being Muskogee, language. Sometimes it's hard to explain it in English. Like, there was a kid that asked one day, he's learning how to speak, and he's getting good at it. He's almost fluent. He said, I heard this woman say this, and he tried to tell, he told me what it was. And I sat there, now I'm gonna tell you, that was a brain burner. I had a hard time trying to what they were saying in English. Okay, I know what it's saying in Muskogee, but to explain it in English, oh man, I was like, oh God, how can I explain this? How can I explain this? How can I? And I say, you do this, I just went through stuff like that, and that's okay, because you know what it did? It made me think about how the language is spoken. And see, I'm still learning too. I'm still learning, because when he asked me that, I forgot what that word was. He said, I heard a woman say that. And I was like, oh, I haven't heard that in a while, but I know what you're talking about. I know what you're saying. But how how they were saying it was what got me. And I was like, explaining it was what got me in English. And I kept saying, when you do this, and and he was like, and then I got it. I thought, thank God, because I was having a hard time trying to make sure that he understood what it meant. So, okay, guys, this is we're gonna go back over some stuff that we had. You know, this is word content and how you would speak. Okay? This is how you would speak, guys. And I would go back over this sometimes and say, look here, look how many doors. I would separate this SUL dot. Got it right. All right, Jonathan. Hello, Jiggy Jonathan. Oh, I know. Is this helping you for one thing, Jonathan? Is this good for you? To Mr. Jonathan Tony. You know, give me your feedback on this, because I'm trying every way. You know, I don't sleep. I lay there thinking, what can I do to make this? What can I do to make these students learn? How can I teach them? How can they learn? My mind's rolling all the time. Rolling all the time. Okay, Asistika Hanga, Kuyani Biga. The clock is little past 1. I bet boxing Chihijati. I'm going and I will see y'all boxing tomorrow. Okay?
Baksidar adukta handawaga jihitadadish.
Oh, Mahana Malaysia Geo Chihijahe. When we start again, I'll see you then. Oh, I know.
Now, Dawi Badi. Maday.
Hello,
Mahaya.
everybody.
On that web address, it's EDMUND.
Okay, ED and okay, I got it. Correcting it right now. ED. All right, Mado.
Inga.
All right, Mado. Wait, I got it. All right, Mado, guys. Mado. Chihijaga.